Phone or without?
With.
Okay.
Don't strain yourself, please.
So I'm going to read about 10 poems. And I thought about what I would read, and I decided I would go back and I would read some early poems from the 80s and from the 90s. Which I've not read them aloud. I hadn't even read them on the page for a long time. So this one is called A Lie. Why don't you want to sleep with me anymore? He said. Is it the hair? In 6 months, a pelt of carrot-colored fur came to cover his back, butt, and belly. No, I said, that's not it at all. And truly, there was more. He was bossy, shrill, short of temper. But yeah, the hair's with it. This is an old poem from 1985 called Wife. Right? Wife. Uh-oh, she said, button missing. You want me so? That would be very nice, I said. Outside, the light changed. Number 12 bus blew fumes through the door of park hung cleaners. How come wife no do? Wife working? No wife, I said. With knit brow, she unrolled sleeves. In Korea, all men have wife. She scratched out 5 shirts, no starch, hangers. On the slip, wrote my name across the top in ballpoint pen, smiling. You live by self, no family? Yes, I said, by myself, with 4 cats off the street. Oh, cats, I allergic. She scratched her arm and feigned a sneeze. We both giggled. How come American man no want wife? She said, handing the slip over a worn wood counter piled with pants, skirts, shirts. And then a thought crossed her face and she said, oh, you prefer the man. I folded the slip once, twice, 4 times, pushed it deep in my wallet. Yes, I told her I prefer the man. Oh, you lie from this big? She said, making a waist-high gesture. I smiled, admiring her directness, and nodded. I don't understand this. Never go with a woman? Many years ago, I told her enough to know what was right for myself. Not too bad for me, she said. American husband hard to find. We giggled again. I told her I couldn't agree more. I was writing a lot of gay poems then. So here's another one called Memoir, Spring, 1977. He drove over a low stone wall, parked the Dart far out in an unplowed field. We cleared the junk off the back, pushed the seats down, and got naked. It went on for some hours. And when we were through, sticky with sweat and the white runny stuff he called boy butter, we sat there smoking nude in the huge night quiet. Let's go, he said. We pulled on our clothes. The Dart lurched, halted, whirred up mud, and went nowhere. We left it under a late May moon, got back the next day to find fresh turned earth in the dark, plowed all around. From the field's far side, we saw its owner astride a great green tractor. He rumbled toward us. "Hello, fellas," he said, and offered a tow. We roped the bumper to the hitch and had it out in a minute. "Thank you," we said. "Hope she was good," he said. We said she was. So this is a little later, called 1923 to 2001. Boxes, 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 my mother said, sitting in the living room of her senior citizen condo on moving day. "Look at all these goddamn boxes." She shook her head and lit another cigarette. "The next time I move, there'll be one box, and I'll be in it." So these are some more recent ones from a new chapbook that's coming out called Birds and Buildings. And this is an acrostic titled, with a title by the name of one of our dear friends, Lamont Steptoe. So you know, an acrostic, all the lines begin with the person and the title and the name. Lordly traveler, word warrior, brandishing his polished blunderbuss aboard renegade clouds. Did we not just see thee in Rittenhouse Square, where muses touch down to eavesdrop or bathe in sad fountains? Occasionally kidnapped by beneficent creatures from other realms, he excels at escape. Not for nothing is he known for invoking albino powers, which include the ability to translate lightning or say what snow-covered trees would say if they could speak. Step lightly, lest toes get stubbed on crusted surfaces of ideas giving way to fields of white emerald, hardened glitter of starlight on tracks the spirit leads as it enters new bodies, disguised as rays of thought. Prophecy's untamed hair under a singular hat, a voice that speaks in tones testifying to numerous dimensions. Where will you scatter your shadow next? Onto what elsewhere road do you move, accompanied by drums and thunder, O eloquent journey person, soul force, navigator, seer of beings unseen? He never even said thank you. This is from a series called Glad You Asked, and all the poems are interrogatives, and all the sentences are interrogative sentences. I'm just going to read one of them, which is called Where. All right? Where did they go, those glazed ham holidays and mistletoe soldiers? Where flew the car-roof binoculars and chestnut-sided daydream? Where went the sun-grasped pears among misplaced wings and mandible flexings? Where does the dough disappear to? Into what flatbread vortex? Where's it begin? With roses holding their noses to the snow? Where does it end? In the meat teeth eat as greed's mistake? Where is the spare tire on this slow boat round a bloated star? Where's the psychology of androgyny? In misogyny? Where are the stairs that trailed our orangey dreamboats to their moorings? Where are their eyes flailing keyhole secrets in hallway darks? Where are airships boarded and kisses recorded? Where do Philip's galleons sit, sea swayed and rain betrayed? Where in the unknown soldier's tomb is there room to spare? Where on dust is it writ, wash me, or shit happens? Where went the notes of Horowitz hovering above the chandelier? Where are the stoplights on this road, and where are the toads of yesteryear? Where went green shoes and wiggy hair and le boyfriend imaginaire? Where is the border between ecstasy and disorder? Where does the in-crowd hobnob with the lynch mob? Why is where it's at and how it's done none of your goddamn business? Where does biology become history and mythology toxicology? Where did the Wayne Who Stares go and bourgeois heirs go and be prepared go? Where hide the tiny feet of despair? In which tidy corner? Where's the beef? She wants to know. So long ago. This poem is called Head, and it's about a person's head. But not mine. The head that goes red, hearing others praised, battening on inventories of cutlery and sabotage. The head, for instance, of a liar, we know, swollen with all the rain that never fell to give shape to the garden that never grows, beneath where her hair hides its memories. Fingerprints on the mischief that were hair tracks in snow, and the snowy wings owls dip and pivot him, alert to the presence of prey in the Arctic night that is his committee. The shape of the head that grows disproportionate, fattened on fibs nibbled, tethered to rain date parades, it glows shades of green in the dark. Wagons parked in the circle of a face display their firearms. Shades of green it glows, proud to have tricked its enemies, that are enemies whether or not they knows it. The face that comes with Iago's nose, and she knows it. Arrows flew past the face, and there were traces of anthrax on its breath, and Marilyn breathless between takes and bus stop. The head pretending not to know what it knows so that secrets are relayed, or feigning to know what it won't or can't so that those in the know never know what it doesn't. The head with its creaking door that opens to storage units containing trickery's livid equipment. Its drawers of rusted blade and moldy pallor, a place where mice nest and distribute their droppings freely. In the heart of a heartless world, the clock watches us work. Evidence of insipidity notwithstanding. I'll read two more. This is called Famousinny. That's a name that Robert Duncan gave to Aeneas Nin after they had a falling out. But the poem is actually not based on, but literally taken from the documents associated with my colonoscopy a year ago. So all of the words and phrases are from the colonoscopy documents. Famousinny, in 5-line sections, centered on the page. So I'm going to read them as bits. Right? Roughly 1/3 to 1/2 of all adults have an anus. The condition becomes more common as people age. The likelihood of bowel movements in your family every few years is also very common. Doctors believe bleeding diverticula are caused by a diet of popsicles or water rice. When the pouches become infected, drink 8 ounces of alcoholic beverages. What are the symptoms? Popcorn once a day with a gloved, lubricated finger in one's diet. 2, pack lightly and wear specific foods. After several hours, anesthesia will place a hospital gown in your rectum. Other than gas, you are not to have anything more than jewelry inside your intestines. Ambulatory side effects from your colon include rectal, breath, sedation, and black tarry stools. There are also risks associated with overweight, surgical assistance removed by snipping brain damaged vegetables. All time is a procedure, not limited to breathing. 3, following scope withdrawal, take home small fragments of relaxing, in addition to pieces of tissue to make you comfortable and less aware. You might need to have a temporary hole in place of your pathology results. You can increase your fiber intake by eating the doctor. And 14 grams of sedation medications. For today, avoid pictures of fistula instructions, bodily substances, and/or heart attack fluids. Although not proven, the dominant theory is that people who appear in the toilet are generally considered harmless. So I'll read one more, and this is a very recent poem. It's from a group of poems that I'm working on called Das Volk, which are all, the titles are taken from folk expressions. And so what I do is take the words in the expression and build a poem around that. So the poem is really not about anything, it's about the words in the title. In this case, there are 9 stanzas, and those words, the title, is called Out of Mind, Out of Sight, are used in each stanza in some way. And there's an epigraph from Antony and Cleopatra. Oh, never was there queen so mightily betrayed. Yet at the first I saw the treasons planted. It's in 2 sections. Small betrayals keep us all in shape, she says. See Macbeth. Out, damn spot, out, I say. Of ways to fray the connection, yakking behind someone's back's a quickie. E, for instance, tells B what a swine C is, and meanwhile D trashes E, who hisses it all back at C. Sight, the faculty or power of seeing. But of course, what a terrible thing to have lost one's mind, opined R.V. shortly before teeing off into timorous points of reckoning, or not to have a mind at all. Whoever imagined some oversight in a suit without the common sense to come in out of the rain would ever find anything more useful to do than peddle moonlight to the undecided? Who's your daddy? Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine, Senator. Treachery gets its cutlery out. And did anyone mention Washington Square? Which, when it comes to double dealing, is where the action is. Oh, Henry. An outstanding example of an out-of-control control queen with a mind so fine no idea could violate it. So saith old Possum, himself no stranger to tincture of arsenic. Obese squeaks and righteous extinction sightings. Was Iago's mistake in vanity or turpitude? Deception or bragging of saying? Ah well, old news isn't, and subject matter doesn't. Blazing mad, Aunt Crazy yells, those tent worms were her pets, goddammit! An insecticide, infanticide! The spray truck rolls by, distributing its carpet of larval souvenirs. Poor dear. We knew her mind to be a yurt of blonde memories forever in need of staking. It turns out the sight of an out-of-body experience equated to old times there. Excuse me, were you the one asking about our special on the copy moccasins? No? Then get the hell out of the store. 2. Who's been chewing on that chicken leg? Took a bite and shoved it back behind the lettuce. Out of sight. Now what to do? Throw a bone at some zoo creature? Pouting polar bear? Bedraggled lynx? Half a mind to dine on eyesore lasagna and call it an evening of food, folklore, and fairies. Et tu, Brute? Ordered to cease and desist, we scurried out of Dodge, having lodged complaints of abuse with the local constabulary. Let B be finale of scene, if that's okay with you. Get your mind around it, Freddie! Someone yells from the back of the room, ushering Freddie Hubbard out of aesthetic seclusion, and for the rest of that night, he just about blew us away. Out of respect for the fortunate few, we will attempt to lose sight of the difficulties implicit in subsistence. The content will resume in 10 seconds. Had a next-door neighbor once who resembled a goth grandma Moses. Sported feng shui shoe polish dude, the voice an out-of-tune hailstorm. You savvy me, I savvy you. Bell. Roger that. Old age equals more flatulence than an outhouse for Holsteins and kangaroos. Do you read me? Are we out of reach? Or by the way, is a part of speech addressing the relationship between a fragment and the whole. An apple, for instance, and the chunk you're now crunching. Say, are you out of your fucking mind? Or, hey, get the hell off that phone, Buster. tonal discrepancies obliterate payload specifics. Out of the cradle endlessly rocking, wrote the good, brave, gay poet and outlier practicing mindfulness. You may sometimes see his spirit gliding up Market Street en route to pay a call on the late Ann Gilchrist. On the other hand, most of those ghosts who lied themselves disappear out of spite. Spit, spat, spot, spot. Here's Spot. On October 12, 1492, the expedition sighted land. The beginning of the end for who and much of what lived where we do now. When secret enmities accrue, don't let them out of sight. Out of one thing comes 10 others, then a walk down the plank of memory. Blindfolded. Oh, never mind. Thanks.
I brought 2 sonnets, so I'll try to keep it quick. It would be fairly painless. Okay. First one's called Angels Can't Sleep. And I apologize for the redundancy, but that's also part of the first line. Angels can't sleep, but flit ceaselessly like light beams through the ether. God's product design flaw has left their radiant, sculptured faces without eyelids. Unable to grab 40 winks, they use their halos for nooses, or batter skulls against the border wall of heaven to escape consciousness. China white is all that offers them a momentary nod. Slip a bag between their feathers, they're happy to pay in redemption at whatever its street price. Just don't turn up begging for miracles empty-handed, or they might kick you to hell and watch you in flames, just as a distraction from always seeing glory. That's okay, I don't require applause.
You get it anyway.
Okay, this is called Allison. Some neurological thing. If I made her laugh, she lost all strength in her hands. She'd double over like a kid being tickled, as whatever she carried went cartwheeling out of her grasp. Stop, she'd gasp, crying while she giggled. But I'd go on goofing about our professors until all around there was wreckage. I guess I wanted to make her drop everything for me. For decades it's been silence between us, although if I saw her now, I might even ask for forgiveness. Going all somber and serious, though she'd probably find the idea that I'd ever apologized to her so absurdly funny. She'd think I was doing it just to take back control.